AITA for getting my BF's custody agreement modified? I, 29F, have been seeing my BF Dan, 35M, for 3 years. He has a daughter, Wendy, 12F, with his ex-wife Jill, 31F. They have had 50-50 custody of Wendy. I do not live with Dan, but I do stay over often. At the beginning of summer, I noticed Wendy was acting sad, angry, weird, and I asked Dan about it, and he said they had already talked about the issue and dismissed her attitude as puberty. At the time I decided that was a fair answer since 12 is when my moody teen years started. Her mood improved, but she got gloomy again after a church trip, and it worried me because the last time she was acting like this was after a church activity. I mentioned this to Dan and he dismissed it again, blaming it on puberty. So I took her out for a girls' trip, hoping to get to the bottom of everything. She had a good time, and near the end she asked if she could talk to her about something and asked if it could be kept a secret. She told me that last month at her church activity, to be able to participate in her church trip, she had to have a one-on-one interview with her bishop, and he asked questions that made her uncomfortable. She said he told her dad, but he said that those kind of interviews are normal. She said that even though she had a good time at the church trip, it reminded her of the interview she had to do, and it made her sad that she would have to go through with it every time there was a temple trip. I asked her if she would rather just not go on the trips, and she said her dad said she had to go on them. I asked how her mom felt about it, because it seemed out of character for Jill to be okay with this, but Wendy said her dad told her not to tell her mom. I told her that if the interview made her so uncomfortable that it made her feel weird a whole month later, she needed to tell her mom about it. She asked if I could be the one to tell Jill, since she told her dad she wouldn't tell. I called Jill after I dropped off Wendy and told her about everything I wrote here. She said she would take care of it, and everything seemed fine until last month when Jill told Dan she was taking him to court to modify their custody agreement. I guess part of their original agreement was that Wendy could choose if she went to church activities, and that he had to accompany her every time Age went. Jill now has full custody, and he can see her 2x a week with supervision. He's considering breaking up with me for blowing everything out of proportion and talking to Jill behind his back. His family says I just don't understand their religion, and the only Mormon friend I have to said I was way out of line and should have minded my own business. AITA here? NTA. I absolutely reject the notion that it can ever be acceptable to ask a child to keep something from a custodial parent who has no pending legal action and any religious argument for such. Of course your BF has the option to end the relationship, but you were not wrong. So let him break up with you. The child's welfare takes priority. Thank you for being her advocate when she trusted you and not her father. NTA at all. He's prioritizing his religion over his daughter's comfort. And it sounds like also ignoring the original custody agreement, which I understand courts do not look upon kindly. You were looking out for Wendy. Frankly, I'd probably be breaking up with him. If you plan to have a child, I would definitely be breaking up with him. As an ex-Mormon who first learned about masturbating and porn at 12 because of an interview with a Mormon bishop, you are 100% NTA. I love you. NTA. A child asked for your help and you gave it to her. And if you need more validation that you did the right thing, head on over to our ex-Mormon. Also, don't wait for your asshole boyfriend to break up with you. See yourself out. The judge made the right call. I can't promise her mom is great, but she definitely does not belong with her dad. You changed that girl's life. Good job. Op. NTA, you are a great person for prioritizing a child over everything and anything. But I would think twice about having a family with a person who dismisses his daughter's concerns. Like that. You may have dodged a bullet here. NTA and his religion is known for sexualizing girls young so his family can F off. He is Ta because he chose his church over his kid because he could have agreed to not attend church activities when his daughter was with him but he didn't. Shows which is more important to him. Whatever that bishop asked her must have been pretty effing sick for a judge to take it from 50-50 custody to 2 supervised visits. That reads to me. Dad knowingly failed to possibly keep minor child from predatory or grooming behavior from his church leaders. Please do not have kids with this sicko. You are way too good for him as you handled that situation just like a mom would. Don't let him guilt or gaslight you into believing anything else. I bet her mom is very thankful to not have her daughter subjected to these interrogations, interviews. NTA. You did a right thing bringing this issue up with Jill. Your relationship with Dan is most likely over. NTA. He ignored his daughter's discomfort, was forcing religion on her and made her lie to her mom. I don't know why you'd want to keep dating him. NTA. He's the one who broke the agreement and dismissed his daughter's concerns. NTA. You did what was right by his daughter. NTA. And it's awesome that you could be a trusted adult for her. Her well-being is more important than her father's ego. You did the right thing. He broke the custody agreement. Told his kid to keep issues secret and his dismissal behavior is causing his child extreme distress. Honey, he's a shish. TTY parent and dishonest. Location flag, location flag, location flag. Good job for saying something because this child was scared to after he shut her down again and again. He did this to himself. NTA. NTA. What you did was probably damaging to your relationship, but do you really think a long-term relationship with someone like this was going to work? Whenever you can advocate for the safety, well-being and mental health of a child, you should. If her father hadn't dismissed her discomfort and ordered her to keep a secret, it would have been more appropriate to bring the concern to him directly, but he demonstrated he was going to prioritize his religion over his child's happiness and actively violated the custody arrangement by ignoring a term of the agreement regarding religious participation. NTA, and this is horrifying. Get that child away from that cult, by any means necessary. NTA, if my kids felt uncomfortable about something, I would hope that someone would tell me about it. If your relationship doesn't work out, it's because of his insecurities and issues. Not because you did what was right with that child. Someone needs to look out for her. NTA. Thank you for looking out for Wendy. Thank goodness you listened when her father refused. And he told her not to tell her mom? Unacceptable. NTA. After you intervened, and after Dan found out, one of two things could have happened. He could have thanked you for helping with a situation he misjudged. Or, basically, this. There were obviously conflicts in this family over religion. Conflicts that they hadn't shared with you. And that's fine. What isn't fine is that those conflicts led to the daughter being placed repeatedly in a situation that made her profoundly uncomfortable. Those situations were bad enough that they led a court to change a custody agreement. Or, to put it another way, the court doesn't think you blew things out of proportion. You did the right thing here. And you should think hard about what this says about your boyfriend. NTA, but any standards. You were looking out for that girl, which is what her father should have been doing. NTA. Taking into consideration Wendy's age, I do not think you were out of line at all. I do not care what religion is being taught to a child if the child is that uncomfortable every time a church activity happens, then something is seriously wrong in the church setting. Dan needs to get his head on straight. His daughter comes first, and by ignoring the church pressure he is causing her harm. Do I think that church attendance is good for kids? Yes, but not for all kids. Not for all families. Individual beliefs and faiths need to be discussed and explored. My own family? There are 5 of us. 2 do not go to any church. 2 attend a single church, and I go to yet another church, faith. In my community, I see time and time again kids that rebel once they are old enough to escape from their parents. Having 3 kids who are social butterflies, a lot of those kids ended up at our house over the years. The common thread connecting a lot of them was their desire to escape home, due to pressure to attend their parents' church whether the kid wanted to or not. Dad needs to let Wendy stop attending if she wants to. If their church meant enough to her as a child, and she's old enough at 12 to decide, then she might very well return to that church or faith when she's older and ready.
If you enjoyed this video, please check out our playlists full of similar content. AmITheAsshole is like doom scrolling for your ears. Please like, share, and subscribe.